Technology experts, entrepreneurs, investors, creatives and digital enthusiasts have been out in force this week, attending the 2020 edition of the STEP conference. For startups, this is the event to attend. Dargham is co-founder and CEO of STEP Group. He's with us here in the studio. Ray, great to see you again. What are the biggest challenges at the moment then are you finding for startups?
Well, first of all, we've had an amazing 2 days, the last 2 days here in Dubai Internet City. We had 300 startups showcasing with us from all over the region, UAE and the world as well. There are different challenges that they face throughout their time. We try to help with certain areas specifically that has to do with fundraising. We connect them with VCs that attend the conference as well. But I think overall, in terms of fundraising, this has improved over the years, the last 10 years that we've seen the entire startup ecosystem evolve in the region. So right now, the seed stage startups that are just starting up, it's quite accessible to get capital. But then it's more difficult on the later stage ones that are looking to raise, $10 million plus from investors. They take a lot longer.
Getting that capital is the important thing for the startups. Is that really what the entrepreneurs are directly there for, to try and get that sort of seed money to get them going?
Yeah, that's the main thing, one of the main things that they need. The second thing they need is a market to scale, and there's been certain challenges with that. We live in a region where probably Saudi Arabia is the only market where you can really scale within one country. Most other, startups start in Dubai, and then they need to quickly expand into other countries, open other offices, or start in other, Arab countries, and open up again in other. So Saudi Arabia and probably Egypt as well is a big enough market to scale, because startups are all about scale. They're called startups, not SMEs, because they are scalable business, and usually they're technology companies.
So we hear a lot about the elevator pitch.
Yes.
Is that a myth, or do elevator pitches work?
No, of course it works. It's elevator pitch is meant to be basically, how can you explain your company as short as possible in very few sentences, and convince an investor or someone of your business. And startups practice that over and over again. And actually within our conference, within the pitch competition, the first round of that competition is an elevator pitch.
Now, startups are obviously very important, as well as SMEs, obviously, for the UAE economy and wider region as well. So, what kind of importance are you placing on that for the economy of the region?
Yeah, it's extremely important. Right now, Dubai and the UAE are calling it the new economy. And there was a launch of Dubai Future District. There's many initiatives that are being launched. There's a fund that was part of that as well. This is extremely important because there's tons of talent in the region from different countries. And we've seen success stories. I think success stories are extremely important, like the Kareem exit, the Su exit, and others, because it creates an example to others that there are unicorns, there are exits. They're not as fast as other markets, but they're there, and this encourages, and we see it as well, many people to leave their jobs and become entrepreneurs and start companies. Some of them fail, some of them succeed, but that's fine.
There's a lot of innovation in Dubai and in the wider UAE. What about for those people who do have that idea they think might be successful? How can they get that idea heard?
The first thing which the entire, what we call the ecosystem, has improved with is the incubators and the accelerators program. Even if you have no money and you have an idea and you can start working on it, there are accelerator programs, incubators, that can give you your initial funding that you need. Sometimes it's like $10,000 or $20,000 or up to $100,000 with such incubators and accelerators, and they give you a mentorship and support, as well as your license, everything that you need to get started. Now, there is work that's been done on the licensing cost and the setup cost compared to other markets. Still more expensive here, but it's come down through the support of different bodies that are there helping make that happen. But I think in Dubai, specifically, if someone has an idea and they want to get it going, it's not that difficult. There is a lot of support that can be given, There are funds that can be given, especially at the early stage. And actually, we released a report with WAMDA on the first day of the conference on seed stage startups, which are the very beginnings. And UAE was the #1 country in terms of how many of these startups are being generated, and Egypt in #2, which makes sense because there's a lot of technical talent in Egypt as well.
All right, we'll leave it there. But Ray Dargham, appreciate you coming in tonight. Thanks a lot, and look forward to the 10th edition of STEP next year.
Yes,
thanks
thank you.